What's up, dudes? Max here, back from EVO, back from Comic-Con, and feeling a little bit better. By a little bit, I'm slowly getting there. One of the things I really didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about that I had a whole bunch of time experiencing at EVO as well as Comic-Con was some of the games that I did have a chance to play, and some of the ones that left a more lasting impression. Of course, you all know that I got a lot of direct capture footage of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, put it up on the channel, and I just kind of wanted to show off the game in ways it really hasn't been shown lately, mostly because a lot of the direct capture feed hasn't looked great, and the game honestly is looking a lot better than I initially remember it looking, but still not amazing because with an art style like that, it can only look so good. However, one of the biggest takeaways from all the games I played at EVO, which was a lot, including Dragon Ball FighterZ, the new Arika game, and a whole bunch of indie stuff, going to Comic-Con and having a chance to play even more Marvel Infinite, pretty much leaves me in a situation where I kind of want to revisit that video I made about a month ago talking about all the issues with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, asking the question, what the hell is going on with this game? Because a lot of what I said in that video still stands. My gripes with Marvel Infinite, including its roster, its art style, and the overall way that they're handling the presentation of the game and the information and everything like that is just really weird in my opinion, and a lot of it I don't understand. However, with the time I did have with it at EVO and then the subsequent time at Comic-Con, I'm feeling that Marvel Infinite is possibly my most looked forward to game of any fighting game out there right now. And that's saying a lot, especially considering that Dragon Ball FighterZ is going to have a beta pretty soon. I love Dragon Ball FighterZ. It does so many things about fighting games that I absolutely love, but I do think the game needs a few more mechanics. It is a very simple game right now, and I think it's going to get them. So I'm not going to be too worried about that because the game is 20% done and was still the E3 build that we were all playing. However, Marvel Infinite was a much different story. It had a huge roster of playable characters, not a lot of new stuff amongst that roster admittedly, but with the systems at hand and the new mechanics that are presented into the game, they do feel a lot different, and the overall way the game is played is much different than any Marvel vs. Capcom game. Now, just with that mentioned and all the issues at hand and all the problems that are with Marvel Infinite, I can't help that I can't get this game out of my head. The different situations and the mechanics of the game are possibly some of the best early on of any Capcom game I've played in quite a long time. Probably going all the way back to Ultimate and regular Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I don't feel like I've been this directly excited for a fighting game probably since Killer Instinct back in 2013. What changed specifically from the last video to this one? Well, it was a whole bunch of time and play sessions. I got a good 2 hours with the game at EVO where I was able to test and try a whole bunch more stuff and learn a lot more about the system and a lot more of what it can do, and then go to something like Comic-Con where there's even more time and more direct capture sessions and even more availability for me to try this thing, and that's essentially where I'm in kind of a unique situation where I'm one of the few guys in the public that has had a chance to play this game as much as most have. Or as much as few people have, and that has really changed a lot of what I feel about the game. I went from very pessimistic to worried and depressed at the E3 build and everything there, where I was like, the gameplay is good at least, but so many other things about the game were just unapologetically weird, and I don't understand them. And a lot of that stuff still stands, but I really feel that the game itself, when you do get your hands on it and you actually understand the way it's kind of meant to be played, is really refreshing, and I absolutely love it. It could be the fact that X and Strider are a couple characters that I've always wanted to be in Marvel vs. Capcom games. Now, Strider's a mainstay in the main roster, and he is just some of the most fun I've had with any version of Strider ever. I really like what they did with him. They don't make him rely on gimmicks like a orb thing or an X-Factor character. He does stand alone very well, while he does have a lot of other really good stuff. I like that he is his own standalone character now. And then you get characters like X, which admittedly, in my opinion, don't really have, like, all the awesome stuff I think a Mega Man X character would have, but does have a pretty unique tool set and is really damn fun in the game. So there is a few characters that definitely wet my whistle, but I won't disagree that, my god, dude, the roster is horrifically lacking, and I really hope that they're going to try to fix that at some point. But with those characters and the time I did have to test things and make sure stuff works and get the chance to see what the game is going to be like, it is ridiculous, man. I really have to commend them for the fact that the mechanics in this game are amazing. Does it apologize or does it fix all the other stuff in the game? Absolutely not. I will not go back and say that the roster is fine, the graphics might be better, but they're totally fixed now. Like, none of that still applies. All of my issues with the game are still there, but since the time I did have to play the game till now, I'm gonna say that this is probably one of my most anticipated fighting games simply on the mechanics alone. And I didn't think that was possible after something like Street Fighter V. With all they were talking about with mechanics and kind of taking the system to be more accessible and getting more casuals in there. The funny thing is, when you actually really start utilizing all the crazy stuff that's in Marvel Infinite, I actually don't feel it's very casual friendly. I feel that there's so much crazy horseshit you can do in this game that it kind of is insane on a casual level to take advantage of all that. And that's a great thing because it's very Marvel-esque, but at the same time, it seems to be the antithesis of what they're going for in terms of accessibility. You got the auto combos and all that stuff, and all that stuff really goes out of the window, especially considering the fact that we already have found combos that are way better than any of that stuff very early on. So I'm in a situation now where I know I'm gonna get a ton of people that are going to absolutely hate this opinion of mine. The fact that I really like an aspect of this game and I'm looking forward to it. Am I going to be someone that is going to tell you to go out and buy this game and to do something to support it and the developers? And if you're not supporting it, you're not supporting fighting games or the fighting game community? Absolutely not. The last thing I want to tell you guys is a way you should be thinking to hopefully replace it with the way I'm thinking about something. I'm not here specifically to sell you on fighting games. I'm here just to make videos and express the things that I'm excited about. This channel is about the things that I really want to play, which is why you don't see a ton of content regarding some other fighting games like the BlazBlue series, the latest BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, and stuff like that. I'm just not super into any of the games specifically, so you're not going to see a lot of videos because I'd prefer to make stuff in regards to what is really captivating me at the moment and gets me excited about in the future, and I want to make stuff in regards to that game or whatever's going on. And Marvel Infinite has captivated me, but right now I'm very excited to this game's release. Do I hope that a lot of stuff could hopefully be fixed in the future? Abso-freaking-lutely. Am I still going to be critical of the game, especially in regards to a lot of the stuff that people have been saying? Yes, I am. But one of the most refreshing things was at Comic-Con, they got a question from Yoshinori Ono literally in regards to Chun-Li's face, and they responded with the fact that on day one there is going to be a patch for the game that is going to address a lot of cosmetic issues. I don't know exactly what cosmetic issues they're going to be fixing. Chun-Li's face is a very obvious one. Dante's face is a very obvious one. I hope Captain America's in there, for God's sakes, fix the bug man. But for the most part, it was the best part of the Marvel vs. Capcom panel at Comic-Con, which I was attending. Just hearing the fact that they're acknowledging that this game does need some fixes in some areas and they are planning to do it means a lot to me, especially considering that they've been very hands-off with the way that a lot of that stuff and the very critical reception of the game has been over the past few months. Just the fact that they're accepting that there is some stuff that people aren't happy with and they're going to tackle it feels good, man. I like that. Benny, where'd you go? It doesn't give them a blanket, okay, we're good by any means, but it's a start. What I'm saying is I want to see more stuff like that. I feel the game is still in a state where they aggressively need to try to make people happy with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, because there's DLC characters, and those characters are the new characters, while the main roster is composed of like literally 1/5 new characters with a ton of returning characters. You absolutely could look over the really rough art style if this game had an amazing roster. But it doesn't. It has a ton of returning characters from previous games, and although they are very much different in this game in terms of how you play them, how the game is played with those characters, I get where they're going, but it hurts because that is one of the biggest aspects of Marvel vs. Capcom games is the roster. They need to just do something in regards to the future of the game to try to get people back on their favor, because even with the gameplay and a lot of people seeing how it is with the videos I put up and the more stuff that comes out about it, people are like, wow, the game is actually pretty good. But everyone's still got that weird thing in the back of their head. Well, the game looks like really weird, and I don't understand what the hell's going on with the roster, which is completely fine. I will never tell you guys the way you should think about a fighting game, because I personally agree with a lot of the critical reception of this game, because I was one of them. I'm just in a unique situation where I can actually report that by playing it, I feel a bit differently about it, and it's probably one of my most anticipated games now. The flack that I'm gonna get just for saying that, I understand, but I'd really prefer to be honest with you guys in the terms of how I feel and the content that's gonna be on this channel and things I'm gonna make in the future. Does it actually change anything for the other games, like Dragon Ball FighterZ? No, I'm still equally just as excited for that game, but Dragon Ball FighterZ is a lot further out than I think we think it is, especially considering what I heard at the Namco panel. We're probably looking at hopefully before June, because that game was a lot more popular than they thought than they thought it was going to be. So now I think they're going to spend a little bit more time making it even better, which is a very good thing, and something I honestly wished happened to Marvel Infinite. Either way, that's how I feel right now. Thank you dudes a ton for watching. I'll be back with more updates to Marvel Infinite and Dragon Ball FighterZ as soon as I get more opportunities to do so. My name is Max, and I'll see you next time.